Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to another edition of the Toxic Happy Hour, where we are toxic towards scams. Oh, I'm hearing an echo, and it's not good because it's myself.
I
It's
got
not me.
Right?
I got
No,
it.
I can hear my own voice. It's terrible. I think it's gone now. But yeah, this is the Toxic Happy Hour where we are toxic towards scams that delay the adoption of global sound money. We're toxic towards scammers. Today we have a very special edition because we have the chairman, the founder, and the CEO of the non-charity organization called Have Fun Staying Poor. Udi, welcome
Yes.
to the Toxic Happy Hour. Great to have you here. First off, what are you drinking today, sir?
Scotch whiskey. That's
Nice.
what I drink today. Yeah.
So, and what about you, Puppy? What are you having?
Yeah, that scotch is pretty strong out of the gate. May have to warm up to that later. But hey, for now, yeah, just a Sierra Nevada, a little pale ale. And
Yeah, you're liking it. And I'll go with the classic Mexican Modelo here.
Very good.
Very nice.
So, Puppy, I always talk a lot. So why don't we let you introduce or get the show started with some question for Udi here, maybe.
All kinds of questions. Well, no, real quick, because I was just telling you quickly before we had started. The fun part of just being part of the plebes that can have people on. We get to hear you in different podcasts and don't even know when your first one was, where the stories of how you get started get lost in what you're talking about. So, like, what was your first foray into Bitcoin? Like, sort of how you basically discovered it. If you have like the 1 minute overview.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Each time I get asked this question, I invent a new story. So let's see what I come up with.
Wait. Oh my God. What happened to?
Sorry. Okay.
Oh, there we go.
I lost you guys.
We're good.
No, we're back. You're back.
You're back.
Yeah. We there, and you're there. So this is definitely amateur. I would say.
I don't know if you guys.
You're good.
We got you, Udi.
You can. Well, I can just speak, but I can't hear you, so that's not very useful. Just a minute.
Okay.
Let's see if I can fix it.
So, Poppy, while Udi works out the technicalities, why don't we just mention that prices right now, what do we got? $31,274, which is a good start.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey,
yeah. That's what you got, Puppy.
Okay. I guess what I'll do is I'll hop off and back on.
Yeah, sure.
That fixes it.
Try that.
No, I say yeah because how quickly do we come normalized to $30,000? Like, yeah, oh well, yeah. Like I'm gonna probably put that out in the tweet. I'm considering a buy at 30,000 and buying a major fucking dip. Imagine thinking of that 2 months ago, and now you're buying a dip at 30,000. It's fantastic.
Things have just got way out of hand so fast on the price. And so on eToro, people keep asking me two things. One, should they wait for a dip? And I'm like, look, on average, the price goes up 0.5% at least on average daily. You don't want to wait for no dip because why are you going to be cute and think you can outsmart the short term? You can. So that's one question. The other question is,
can you guys hear me now?
Yeah,
we're good.
Yeah.
Let's bring Udi back in. That's what we're here for. So we spent 10 minutes now. Everyone is here. Poppy's here. Udi's here. Udi, why don't you tell us a little bit about what do you actually do in Bitcoin? What does the world of Bitcoin look like from where you're at? What do you do?
Right. So I'm from Tel Aviv, from Israel, and I'm a software developer and a freelance software developer. Not necessarily Bitcoin stuff, to be honest. Sometimes, but not always. And well, with regards to Bitcoin, I was involved locally here with like we have those sort of community efforts. We have like the Bitcoin embassy in Tel Aviv, where we had like meetups and stuff, and we try to like promote the use of Bitcoin locally. This kind of changed in the last year, which is when I started to move to try to do meetups virtually, which is why I do the Reckless VR meetup more or less every weekend. So it's a virtual reality meetup, which is it sounds like a gimmick, but it's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Because you get to be like along with people at the, like, it almost feels like you're in the same space with someone, almost like it used to be before they wouldn't let us do actual events. So that's pretty cool. We do those almost every week, and that's pretty awesome. And also just software stuff. I I used to work in PayPal once. I think that might make me the evil villain of the story, but it's true. I might own PayPal stock. I'm not sure. I don't remember, but that's the case. I'm in Bitcoin to destroy it from the inside, and I think people in Ethereum believe the same, that I'm talking about Ethereum to destroy it from the inside. So just to warn you guys.
It's another good cause that you're working on. Cheers to that, and cheers to the chat.
Cheers. Yeah.
Cheers, boys.
Pubby, I don't know if you want to cut in here.
Yeah, I had a quick. Well, I was listening the other day. It's one of UDI's old one with the Oculus and all this. But so what's a quick overview on like sort of how does this work? Because I thought it's fantastic that I heard like you can be talking to somebody in one part of a room and literally go to a different part, and then the sound changes. Where like literally, the people you were listening to, you don't hear anymore, and it's almost like you say, being there in person.
Yeah, you can have because people, I guess there are a few dozen people who show up every week, and then you can kind of form little groups like you would naturally in any like physical setting, and then it doesn't have to be like one group of everyone talking together. So it's a lot more natural. Like when you're doing a Zoom call, right? Then you have like 30 people on, and only 2 of them can speak. But if you have this like physical setting, then people can, they branch out, they have their own conversation, whatever. So it's much more natural in that way. And we also do presentations and panels and interviews and whatever. So it's pretty cool. Yeah. The only problem is that ideally you would have, the VR equipment, which not a lot of people have. But you can also use just your laptop. So if you can just join with your laptop and move around like in a video game. So it's a start.
What kind of price are we talking if you're going to get a decent setup for virtual reality?
It's actually fairly affordable these days. So the most approachable way is to get the Oculus Quest 2, which is somewhat new. It's by Facebook. So the problem is that it's Facebook makes it, and you need to have a Facebook account to use it. And I'm not a huge fan of that part. But the price is like $300, which is I mean it's fair for what you get. It's totally fair, I think. So yeah, and people can just join, try it out on their laptop first, and if they like it, then they can order the thing. So I think it's a good balance there. It's a very cool experience. Like other than just the meetups, there are like it's a cool thing to try out. So
I think back to when you first hear about virtual reality in late 80s, early 90s, and the vision I have for movies is like these block computer sort of figures that move around. You don't. It's the technology's come so far, and I've never experienced it. So yeah, I'm interested in learning more for sure.
Yeah. And then for those, I can see that in the chat, people are pissed off about Facebook.
Oh, listen, hey, most Bitcoiners are, right?
Yeah. So if you don't want the Facebook thing, there are other options, but they'll be more expensive because the thing is that Facebook is they're effectively subsidizing it. So you can get like other ones. They'll just be more expensive.
So
that's a real way to test your how much it's worth to you to not be a Facebook user.
Yeah.
Yeah, the problem is you have to depart with sat by going
Yes.
non-Facebook. So it's kind of a dilemma there, because
Yeah.
sats are dear to us. But honestly, I think it sounds super cool, this, and especially as we were talking about also in the green room, while Puppy still was trying to be fashionable late. Zoom meetings, it's hard to make them useful if you're more than 5-6 people. And I really think this sounds exciting. I heard you, Udi, on Swan Signal when you were explaining about this Bitcoin virtual reality meetup. Reckless, you call it, right? You said
Reckless VR. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely want to get one of these Oculus, I guess, maybe, because it's less sad. And try it out. So how many people do you have there? Like, what can it sustain? Is it fully scalable, you feel, because of the VR?
Technically, it could have. So the way it works, it kind of, do you know about sharding in Ethereum, where they split the thing into multiple parts? So they have the same thing, except it actually works. So they have sharding that works. And yeah, so you can fit a large number of people there. We don't usually reach the limits, but like we had for the halving, we had like a big party where a few hundred people showed up, and it was no problem. So yeah, it can fit as many people as we need.
And where do people find your meetup? Just to let everyone know. So on YouTube, down below in the show notes, there are lots of links. You'll rarely find one that has any level of commission or referral. Most of it is just fun and games. And obviously, you'll find the link to Udi's Twitter. And I'm sure on your Twitter, Udi, people can find everything about the meetup and everything else you do. Or?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and they can go to, the best way is to go to recklessvr.com and sign up, and you'll just get an email for every meetup that we have. So you'll get an invite, and when they happen, and you won't miss them. That's it. We don't send any kind of spam. We just inform you about the meetups. So you can do that. recklessvr.com. And then you don't need Twitter. You don't need anything. You don't need Facebook. If you don't want to, you can just...
Unless you have an Oculus, right? Unless you're running it on an Oculus.
Well, so it's it's up to you. You can pull out some sats and get a better non-Facebook device if you want. That's an option.
Right.
All of the options are available.
Yeah. All right. Cool. But I'm sure you have some more information on that. So Udi, you have quite a cultural influence in this world, I would say. Just this last show we had 6 days ago, and again, we pride us of having the best, most interactive chat in this space. We actually had the chat spell out "Have fun staying poor" letter by letter, and threw it up on the screen. Yeah. They're very professional in the chat, or how should we say? So, can you tell us the backstory? Where does the "have fun staying poor" come from? How did you get the idea? And you created this entire meme, hottest meme at the moment.
Well, memes are not created, right? They're discovered. I wouldn't say I created it. It's just 4 words, right? But I think that perhaps the first one who I'll talk about my time in the Mossad soon. Who's that?
That's Greggy.
Greggy, yeah. Sure. Yeah, I can talk about that. Sure. So back to have fun staying poor. Yeah. So it was. I think that what happened was like a bunch of the DeFi people and maybe the Link fans. I don't remember who started it. They were going around Twitter telling people just stay poor. That was because someone would say, well, Link sucks, Ethereum sucks, something that they would just reply, stay poor. And actually it was pretty funny, but I mean, I'm not a huge Link fan, but I thought it was funny. But it wasn't accepted very well. So I just had to have fun. That's all I did. I just had to have fun, and I still don't think I don't think people view it very positively when they first hear it, but it grows on you, right? After a few times, it kind of grows on you.
Listen, I thought it was brilliant. dear God, I probably have 100 memes I put out with have fun staying poor. Raul finally blocked me for me have fun staying poor. I mean, it's up there with Printer Goes Burr as meme of the year in my book. Absolutely.
Well, that's
So
I appreciate that. Yeah.
Without us asking it of the chat, they started spelling it out again. But to be honest, it's not super easy because coordinating 30 people to spell is making it really hard for me to jump around and find the. I think I'm needing a Y now. Yeah, so maybe we'll fail this time. Let's see if we can keep it up.
Well, let me tell you more about. I'll tell you why it's so brilliant. Because it is just an ultimate in your face to people that have been obstinate for 12 years about Bitcoin. You know, it's telling them for this many years, you just fucking refuse, like a Peter Schiff or anyone else. You refuse to give not even an ounce of credit, not even, maybe there is something. So it's finally Bitcoin saying, yeah, fuck you, have fun staying poor. We're doing our thing. You know, and because it really, that's the spirit that I took it as. Like, my God, I mean, something that went from zero to over $30,000, and you're still calling it a Ponzi scheme after 12 years. It's ridiculous. Yeah. So yeah, have fun staying poor, man.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's how people kind of are using it now. Like, you know, because you can't, like, people show up and they start with those stupid concern trolling. That is the same thing. Like for I don't know, for 10 years now, they keep repeating the same FUD, the same crap. It doesn't make any sense. Like, you know, it's not really, it's the supply is not really limited, and there's going to be a 51% attack. You know, all of those crap things that we handled like years ago already. And I think it's people just got sick of explaining. You know, just have fun staying poor. You don't want to learn, fine. Just have fun.
Right. So I tried to excuse it with, listen, like Pubby was saying, after 12 years, the best performing asset in the world by far is still doing great. It's a monetary network that's reached more than $500 billion worth of market value. And if when we kindly try and explain to our family, our friends, loved ones, and even strangers, we try and explain to them, hey, there's something here, you should look into it, let me explain to you. And when they just tell you that you're radical, you're stupid or whatever, then it's just it's a nice fallback. Look, have fun staying poor. I'm trying to help you here. So it's coming from a place of love, really. You want to help people. And that's what I'm using as my excuse, for saying it, that, hey, I tried to help you. You don't want my help. You're making fun of me. So, I did what I could. Have fun staying poor. And I think Camila, I'm not sure she has, well, okay, I can't say that, but she wants a shirt. I guess she doesn't have one now. But anyways, back to you guys.
Oh, hey, just a quick question from RDBTC, one of our favorite memers in the chat. Do you have a favorite have fun staying poor meme from this year? And what is it?
Oh, man. Well, I do. I love them all. I can't. I love all of them. I'm gonna shill myself. I'm gonna shill myself at havefunstayingpoor.com. Yes, that's an actual domain name. And you guys can join in, and that's where I rent, because on Twitter I can only rent in like 280 characters or whatever it is. So on havefunstayingpoor.com I get to use more words, which is something I like to do. So you guys can use that. And I'm sorry, I love all the memes. They're great. RD has some amazing ones. I can't, I wake up.
Yeah. We have a good group here.
I at some point I open Twitter, I look at the notifications. There's always gonna be like some crazy meme there. They're amazing. I don't want to name any one of them because they're all good.
I know you haven't. I just joined I just found that Telegram group today. The Have Fun Staying Poor Telegram group. Like the one more thing I need in my life is another fucking Telegram group,
Yeah.
How do you guys
exactly.
do that? How do you guys interact in this many Telegram groups? Because I didn't
I
crack
don't.
it. Like,
Yeah. Well, the Have Fun Staying Poor one is just a broadcast channel. Like, it's not an actual chat.
Mhm.
So
Right.
I'm the only one who can send stuff out, and I do it, I don't overdo it, I think. Like once a week. So it's fine. I think it's manageable. But generally, I just mute everything. Look, I have
Yeah.
like I don't have notifications on for any app at this point because they're all awful.
Well,
But
hey,
yeah.
man, this could be a good segue. Like I say, sometimes you turn off every notification possible. But hey, man, you left us hanging in Twitter there for a while. Took a little break. But what's sort of the story
Yeah.
behind that, and what brought you back?
So, I've been I've been on Twitter for a while, and I none of this was planned. Some people, they kind of plan, they have this path for how to, how are you going to gain followers, how are you going to use your Twitter account, whatever. For me, it was just an accident, really. And it's, I thought I could use a break. So I started making stupid bets with myself that I would delete my account if something doesn't happen. I think it was breaking some price. I did it like for a few times, and it always broke that price, so I had to stay. But then eventually, I think the one that got me out was the all-time high at 20K, which took like
Yeah.
a few good months to break. So I think that's the one that that got me out. And once I didn't really think it through, but once I was already out, I was thinking, well, you know what, it's going to be the U.S. election, so I think that the U.S. election is a great time to not be on Twitter. So I'm just going to wait it out, and then when it's all over, I didn't have any idea. Like it really went crazy, right? Like when, like things really got crazy during the elections. I didn't think it would be that bad, but I assumed it would be, not something I need in my life. So that was the thinking there. And then once it was over, I gave myself a few more days off and came back, I guess.
so what
Or
exactly
weeks
did
off.
you do? Did you just not use Twitter, or did you actually delete your
Oh
account, or
no,
how?
yeah, you can't. The closest thing you can do to deleting your account is deactivating it. That's what they call it officially. So I didn't, I didn't lie. I did technically delete my account, but you can come back. So that's what happened. I did have a little bit of fun telling people I'm not coming back, but I was always planning on coming back. So yeah, so that was fun. Bit of time off. Of course, I have at least like 50 sock puppet accounts that I used and to see what's going on. So I was always there, lurking in the shadows, but not with the main account.
Right. So back to the question from Greggy about your time in Mossad. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
My time in the Mossad.
Mossad, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry if I'm not pronouncing it right.
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't mispronounce the FBI, right? Like that's insulting. Or the CIA. Anyways, so my time. I don't know. Like, what am I supposed to? I don't have anything funny to say about that. I was not in the Mossad. Like, not every single person in Israel has been in the Mossad. I know that people think that, but it's actually not true.
Tell
of course, that's what we would
about your
say,
first,
right?
I say, yeah. Tell us about your first kill. I mean, were you hesitant? Did you crack
if
on?
If I was a Mossad agent, I mean, you can be sure it would have been a pencil pusher and not a field agent, right?
So Udi, when he made his first kill, he said, "Have fun staying dead."
Yeah, and just shoot the guy's ear off. Like, aim for the head, but just shoot his ear off, and that's it.
So he has time to think about that concept of death before it.
No,
enters.
just to be poor. You can live without 1 year. It's fine. So just to be. half deaf and poor.
He pulls out his Glock and just says, "Hey, run a full node on this, motherfucker."
God, that's terrible. Yes.
Hey, Udi, so apart from the "Have Fun Staying Poor" meme that you came up with, like, what other meme is your favorite? Okay, you discovered it. My bad. You don't want to insult a Mossad agent.
True.
I feel that right now. You don't want to insult an former agent that still has license to carry and kill.
Look, man, he's talking about
area,
you know, he's saying you discover a meme. Well, look, man, I got a lot of meme friends there on Twitter that, by God, they created that thing themselves. There's a discovery. They own it.
Sure. No, but I mean, you know, it's like memes are like math concepts, right? You don't invent them; they're always there. Yeah. You just find them.
You unleashed them. Yeah. You found out where they were, and that's the brilliant thing about them. Honestly, is there's so many ways to express a certain idea, and I love the creativity from the space. The guys that come up with just something you never would have thought about yourself. It's the same concept, but just a different way of looking at it. So. Yeah, the meme community has really grown this year, in my opinion, and I love it.
Oh yeah,
yeah. There's really a lot of new guys creating memes, like Pubby himself. I think you started in August or something, and then a lot of the other guys in the chat are really strong memers, and I think a lot of them just started this year. But apart from the "Have Fun Staying Poor" that you discovered, what other people have discovered? What's your favorite?
Oh, my favorite one. That's the thing. I will forget. That's the problem. I really like the 6.15 meme. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm having a hard. You know, there is of course, the generational meme, which is always the best meme of them all. Is the HODL meme, just the word HODL. It's by far like I don't know if people like spend time thinking about it, but especially if you got to be around and see the first one kind of take form, or like anyone who didn't read the thread, or at least the first post where the HODL term started, then you have to go stop everything you do and go read it. It's very it's always a good read. Like it's humbling too, you know, because it's the entire story is, you know what, I'm not gonna be a good trader. I'm drunk. I'm an idiot. I'm just gonna hold my coins, and that's it. And it'll be fine. And it's a really good one.
What's brilliant about it is that some of the best memes, and as you know, you've been in small groups. We got a bunch of shit posters and all of this. It just sometimes they just come by accident. You know, a typo turns into the greatest meme ever by accident. But I made the unfortunate mistake a few shows ago, Udi, of saying the word crypto on here, and I'm getting beaten to hell. Yeah. I'll self-own that. But my point is, something happens by accident, and guess what, man? They'll never let you forget. So that's the beautiful thing about HODL is it's such a throwback to a time before I had even sort of arrived here. I've been here only 3 years. But it's so fantastic. It's such a part of the lore, you know, like pizza day, like anything else. So HODL may be the all-time best.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a classic. I love how the guy explained. Like first he was saying all this, like I realized I shouldn't trade because I lose my Bitcoin, and then somewhere in that thread on Reddit, he admitted that he probably had half a bottle of whiskey or something like that.
Yeah. It was on Bitcoin Talk, and it was like you read half of this thread and then you realize the guy is completely like he's drunk or high, whatever, and it's a really good one. It's a funny one, you know, and the guy's humble, and it's just a really good one.
It's like the ones I also enjoy. You know, when you start at 17,000 and run out a bear market, you get used to those prices. But I love the ones when people will start retweeting old tweets of a guy like, all right, this shit's over. I'm out. I'm selling it all. And it's like $3.89. This shit's over.
Yeah.
I'm
I
out of
should
here,
have
boys.
sold it 12 bucks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, when it crashes from $12 to like 3.5 or whatever,
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
get scared. And imagine selling like 500 Bitcoin, like $3
Yeah.
a piece.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But anyways, Udi, we love talking price actions and expectations for this bull run, expectations for price this year. Because I mean, I think everyone now are realizing we had the halving. Supply is now fresh supply is cut in half, and that has obviously an effect on price going up. Supply and demand decides the price of everything. So, what's your expectations for this bull run in terms of pricing? What will we see this year? What about next year?
Yeah, I'm thinking how to approach
let me jump in real quick on that.
Yeah.
Not so much where we are, but did you expect this year? I mean, honestly, like, did you expect the run up from April or March from 5,000 to 30,000? Was that on your radar?
Well, it depends on expect when. Like if you asked me in March, in 2020 in March, no, I did not expect this at all. If you, I think late last year, then very late last year, then yes, I started expecting something big to happen. But it's almost unfair because it was obvious to everyone at this point.
Yeah.
But I think, I think that late last year my expectations kind of adjusted to probably, I don't want to throw price predictions around. I think that, but let's say the 100K number, it used to be like something that sounded insane. I don't think it's insane anymore. I think it's almost conservative at this point. And it's not going to be like this straight up thing like it's been so far. That's not going to happen. In fact, I think it's possible that the straight up action is going to take a break for a while now, but maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, I think 100,000 is definitely in the cards, and maybe even conservative. Yeah, for 2021.
Puppy, I think Udi is fairly bearish here, but
yeah. We're
like,
just a fucking 3x away. We're only 3x away from 100.
Maybe we'll go above 100,000. Maybe it's conservative. That's all right. It's okay.
Yeah.
You're sandbagging. You're making sure that you'll be right, and you will be right. I'm pretty sure of that. I'm pretty sure that's conservative.
Oh, as anyone who follows my stupid price calls knows, I'm completely comfortable with being wrong all the time. So that's not it.
Yeah.
I don't think that's it. I just look. Here's the thing. So especially in the last few weeks, I've been making a lot of ultra bullish tweets, right? And the thing is, you also have to remember, right? You have those people who are kind of watching us, right? And they are, unfortunately, they're either out or they're feeling like they're missing out because they don't have enough or whatever. And you don't want them to like make ridiculous mistakes, right? So, and you can make mistakes. Like even, let's say, even if we knew that the Bitcoin price is going to be 300K this year at some point, right? Assume that somehow we knew that. So you can still make mistakes by being bullish, right? You can take a loan and buy Bitcoin, and it dips lower than you can afford, and you have to cash out before you get to the actual price you were thinking of, which will get there. So that's even more painful. You end up being bullish and right, and you lost money. So that happens to a lot of people during bull markets. So so I'm trying to kind of be reserved, I guess. But yeah, I think there's every reason to be bullish at this point, right?
Yeah. I just want to public service announcement based on as on the point you were saying. taking out a loan to leverage on your Bitcoin is so dangerous. And why are you trying to be cute when we're looking at Bitcoin that has maybe like a 500, 600x potential from here? Why do you want to risk that because you want a little bit more? Greed can be good in many ways, but don't be so greedy that you risk everything. I had a dear friend who lost most of his Bitcoin in March when Bitcoin crashed 50% in 8 hours because he had taken out a loan on BlockFi so he could buy a little bit more corn, and that's good when corn goes up. And so guys, don't risk your corn. The stack is holy. Don't touch it. Don't take a loan on it. Don't leverage. You don't need it. I mean, you deserve it. If you mess it up by this stage, we have enough knowledge that that's dangerous. Don't do it.
Shut up, Anders Bear. Shut up, because Michael Saylor has proven otherwise. No,
I would say taking a loan is fine if you
thank you.
Be careful, know your limits. Don't put your entire stack on the line. That's insane. Because I think what you're saying is really true, and that's something that people don't consider. Like, if, let's say, you're sitting here and you believe that Bitcoin is going to be 300K, right? That's 30x. That's a shit ton. That's a lot. Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't need, don't fuck up 30x to get what, 2x more, 50% more? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
That's stupid. That's stupid thinking.
Yeah.
What you could do is risk a little. If you think for example, if Saylor knows that he has the ability to generate income over the years, and he wants to risk some of that income now instead of in 2 years, that's reasonable. Maybe.
Yes.
Depends on the situation, right? So you have to think this through. Think about what happens if you're wrong, I guess, is what I'm trying to say, because that's an option that can happen. So make sure your life doesn't suck if that happens. And then, if you want to take a gamble.
Udi, I never thought I would hear you say, I never thought I'd hear you say you could be wrong about Bitcoin. you just said you could be wrong. No, you can't be wrong. Bitcoin's listen.
People lose money all the time. Hey, people today lost a lot of money.
When they sell. Hey, no one in Bitcoin today has lost money yet. Pretty much everyone's in the green. Can we agree on that? We're pumping all-time highs right now.
Well, no, I mean, not really. A lot of people lost money today because I think we started the day at 34K almost. Well, my time zone at least.
Yes, I'm sorry. The people that discovered Bitcoin in the last week lost money today.
Yeah, and you're just disregarding them and disrespecting them right now, Puppy, that their loss is not worth anything. But now that I have the word, I want to just remind you, Puppy, that I explained this to you before, but let me do it again because it seems you don't remember it.
Go.
When Michael Saylor takes a loan, he's not using his Bitcoin as collateral. So if the price of Bitcoin crashes to $1,000, which won't ever happen, but if it did, Michael Saylor will not be forced to sell his corn because he took a loan which is convertible bonds. But if private people go out and leverage either on BitMEX or they take out a loan on BlockFi and the price of Bitcoin goes down, they are forced to sell all the Bitcoin they have. That will be done on their behalf and they lose their coin. Michael Saylor cannot lose his coin. So that's a big difference. Actually, a super, super bullish thing that this convertible bond selling, buying Bitcoin is possible. And that means they're not long squeezed. Michael Saylor can never be long squeezed.
Well, you could similarly take a loan just based on your income, right? So you could say, I'm gonna have a salary. There's a certain percentage I'm not gonna spend anyway. I'm gonna save, and I don't want to wait a year to spend that. I want to spend that now and pay back the loan over a year. You can do that. Of course, I'm not recommending anyone to take loans. I'm just saying that's an option that people can consider.
Sorry, I just tweeted it out. Let me finish my tweet. Udi says take a loan, buy Bitcoin.
Well, actually, so what you're saying there, Udi, I think makes a lot of sense. I think you're giving great financial advice right now. no, seriously.
All I'm saying is be responsible, be aware of what you can and cannot afford, and what happens if you're gonna lose. What happens then? And if you have a plan for that, then okay. I mean, you can try. And the thing is with something like even with something like BitMEX or BlockFi, whatever it is, where you do put your coins at risk. You know, you don't have to put your entire stack at risk. You can say, okay, I'm going to put like 1% at risk, and maybe that's reasonable for you, maybe not. I'm just saying, you know, there are ways to be more reasonable than just a complete degenerate who just says, hey, here's my entire net worth. I'm gonna bet it on Bitcoin not going down 1%, which is amazingly, this is something that people do, but most people probably shouldn't.
I'm going to jump in on this one because I just put this one out as a tweet. I was just curious what people thought. Well, in March, I had put out, I think it was April. Hey, would you take a personal loan at $10,000 to buy Bitcoin now? And if so, like, what would your percentage rate be? Blah blah blah. Goddamn, that would have turned out pretty good for people.
Oh yeah.
Just this last week, I put out. Like right now, when people are seeing the price action, I said, if you're going to take a loan, do you take it at less than 5%, 5 to 10, 10 to 20, or the last one was, fuck it, here's my credit card number. So, you know what's amazing? It was evenly split. 25% of people are like, I'm putting this shit on my credit card now. That's the bullish sentiment that we have.
Yeah. So I have another public service announcement. I think the last 3 minutes, Pubby has mentioned his Twitter account about 5 times about interesting tweets he does. So right down below, you'll find the link to Pubby's Twitter account. He would love to have you as a follower if you don't already follow him. And then I just want to say, Udi, the thing you said, I very much agree. So there's a big difference of putting your Bitcoin up as collateral where you can lose your Bitcoin. Oh, now be quiet, Puppy. I know you love putting up the Bitcoin as collateral, but and the thing you mentioned, of course, we're not doing financial advice here. This is just infotainment or just entertainment or whatever you want to call it. But taking out a personal loan is a different thing. Do I think it's a great idea? Yes, it's my opinion that it's a phenomenal idea, but it is with risk, so it's definitely not financial advice. But if you take out a personal loan in the bank, if you refinance your house, and buy Bitcoin for that. That cannot be forced sold on your behalf. You can't lose it.
Well, it can if it can, but it's just different conditions. It can, but I mean, I get what you say. You're saying like the Bitcoins are the most important things. I don't want to lose them. I'm fine with maybe losing my house, but not with.
Why do you need?
And I guess if you're young, if someone is like 20 years old and they have like good income and a good outlook for their lives, then maybe you could say, depending on your situation, maybe you could say, well, it's worth it to borrow some money for my future and use it now, because I think that this is like an important year for Bitcoin, which I think many of us believe that this is an important year for Bitcoin now.
Understatement of the decade. This is 2021. It's an important year from Bitcoin. Absolutely. I just want to, Puppy, before I give the word to you, I just want to, from Howard Rogue, sorry if I mispronounced. I just want to, he said, I have just take a loan with my bank. Thanks, Udi. So I just want to give that thanks to Udi.
That's it. I'm not talking about loans anymore. You see, that's why people like Vitalik tweet that you shouldn't take a loan, because if you even joke about it, then people are gonna
Udi is fine.
You over it forever.
The brilliant part is here that this is Anders' YouTube channel, not ours. So he's in charge of the financial advice, and the guests are not held responsible.
Great, that's good. But
so let me ask this, because I know we only have a few listeners since we started. I think there's 2 of them in the chat still. We love them. No, seriously, we have a great crew here. This year, to me, changed the narrative so much. And every time we have a guest on, I always like to ask about how it changed. You start in from the white paper, Roger Ver going rogue, as a mean of exchange, and it's got to be peer-to-peer. Saylor came in and really laid down the hammer for me. He said, no, fuck that. It's a store of value. This is a store of value. I will not sell for 100, or my company will not sell for 100 years. So what did you think of that narrative shift? Is that what to you?
Yeah, I think it's totally valid. I think it's been in the works for a while, right? Like, I think when someone like Saylor comes in and kind of embraces all of those narratives, it gives them a lot of weight that wasn't necessarily there before. But, people have been talking about store value forever, and I think that the whole like Bcash ordeal kind of solidified that difference, right? Or between the camp that believe that Bitcoin is useful, very useful for payments, or should be, and the camp that says, it's first store value. If you want to pay with it too, that's great. You can, and we have like it's improving too. But first and foremost, it's a store value. That's just how people use it. You can't ignore the reality of how people actually use it. So, and then someone like Saylor comes in, and there's a lot of weight with that, right? Because he's not just tweeting and writing articles and going on videos. He actually put like more money than his company has into this thing. So, yeah. So that has a lot of weight with it. And yeah, I think that's. I mean, I'm just sad that I don't have a company to issue like bonds and whatever and buy more Bitcoin. That was a big mistake. I should have seen that coming. So, and more power to him. Yeah. He just grabbed all of the Bitcoins. Like, what's left for us plebs now? Like, he took everything. He took everything off the table.
Yeah, it's lack of supply FOMO. It's really the last Bitcoin are hard to get now. Everybody wants them, fighting for it. Yeah. So get yours quick.
So what's fascinating about it to me is you hear this the term game theory kicked around. Game theory gets kicked around, and people, oh that's bullshit. What, Bitcoin 100,000, Bitcoin 288, stock to flow, S2 FX. It's such bullshit. Well, guess what? It's starting to play out, isn't it? It is starting to play out right in front of our faces.
Well, so yeah. I know I'm gonna pay for this dearly, but I'm not an S2F fan.
No,
but
hey man, hey, we have no sponsors. We got no sponsors. Say what you want.
Well, no, but people in the chat are probably gonna execute me. They're gonna find me and have the Mossad turn on me.
Go ahead.
I assume that might happen. But yeah, I'm not a huge S2F believer myself, I guess. But because whatever, I don't want to get into it. But yeah, I mean, S2F or not, stock to flow or not, it's yeah. I think it's pretty. I think the Bitcoin price tends to be more driven, and I'm no genius, but it seems to me it tends to be more driven by demand and not supply. The whole thing around the supply shrinking, like that's not the big like. Okay, fine. So there's like how much like 6 Bitcoins every 10 minutes. That's nothing. Like people are buying a much more than that. That's not the point. That's a drop in the water at this point. So I think that the real thing is the demand, and now we have a huge demand, right? Like with Saylor and other institutions coming in. That's the big driver here.
But the game theory to me isn't so much demand by individuals, is the individuals with money. Okay. Mm-hmm. One Michael Saylor like me, 2017, the money I could bring in, nothing. Now every Michael Saylor that comes in, oh fuck, you know what? Let's just drop $1 billion into here. Oh, by the way, we just cut the supply in half.
Yep.
That's game theory. So Get ready. Yeah, I don't know what Anders is doing there, but yeah, he's bearish too. Am I the only? I'm the only bull in the room. I am like the only bull in the room.
See, I only think it's gonna 3x. I'm a terrible bear.
Yeah.
You know?
Udi, let me explain to you why Puppy is so bullish in his own words. It's because he is diversified into Bitcoin. And someone like me who did take out personal loans to maximize my sats, I got to be a little bit more conservative and say 300,000 latest Q1 2022 is what I'm expecting. It's not financial advice, but someone like Puppy only diversified a little bit. He needs infinity to feel the difference. That's why. So you can either walk the walk or talk the talk, or you can walk the walk. You know. So one thing
so
is
you're
works,
very
the other
bullish,
thing is
but
actually.
you're not even all in.
Oh, yeah, Puppy.
Yeah. So yeah, the hard part was, you know, once you buy property in 2000 and have no debt left, guess what? You just keep the property. You know, we have real estate. You know, Bitcoin is a part of it. I'm sorry I didn't do a third and fourth mortgage on it, but guess what? Pubby can afford his beer.
You chose not to.
Pubby can watch Bitcoin go to zero for some reason,
Right.
and Pubby's going to be happy. Pubby's good.
So look, that's the great thing about.
I'm happy for your future happy self.
It's the great thing about being a bear like Puppy. You know, either way, whatever Bitcoin does, he will be fine. I can say I will not be fine.
Yeah, those credit cards are going to catch up to you, my friend, eventually.
It's worth it.
It's gonna go down with the corn.
Yeah. So, Udi, how are you doing in that scotch, though?
Oh, I'm good. I'll get myself another glass, actually.
Yeah. Hey. So yeah, what's the next round of talk, man?
What's the what? Sorry?
Yeah. Hey, do you have any questions for us? We never ask this of our guests usually because we're selfish.
Well, what what other coins do you like? How's that for a question?
Other coins?
What other coins do you have? Do you have? Did you buy Uniswap coin? Like, what are you? Any gems you're looking at right now?
No, listen.
Crypto Queen.
What? So, no, Udi. Yeah. So I know this is the first time you've seen our show, but
yes.
No,
and the last.
But I will tell you this.
I love it. I'm gonna be on the chat in an unknown name from now on. Yeah. Sorry, Pubby. Go on.
No. So, you know, go for what I had started. Yeah, December of 2017. I had a friend say, "Yeah, I told my husband about Bitcoin." A friend of mine at work. I told my husband about Bitcoin in 2013, and he wouldn't listen to me. And now is mooning, and I'm saying, Bitcoin, what the fuck is that? So I went home and I started doing research, and the part that got me was how the unconfiscatable, you know, just the part that you could own something that can't be touched by anyone else. So I started, and Coinbase at the time only listed the main four back then. You know, Bitcoin, Cash, Ethereum, and Litecoin. So I just said, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, so I'm going to buy a little bit of each, and that's how I started, man. Yeah. Well,
do you still have them?
Do I?
Oh no!
And Ripple, and I got out of that. I got out of that in March, man. Thank God, some of the maxis got a hold of me from doing research. But no, that was my first. That's my first foray into Bitcoin. But yeah, thank God.
Yeah,
Anders.
Well,
yeah, I want to give you a chance to. I mean, you guys the chance to say something. I know sometimes I have to keep my tongue to allow guests and you to speak. So I took the opportunity to pick up a Pilsner Quell. So, and since you refilled your glass, Udi, cheers to you and the chat.
Cheers, guys. Yeah.
The nice thing here, Udi, is again, we had no sponsors to Caltel too. We just sort of talk, hang out. So what do you think moving forward?
But if you have a sponsor like Cardano, for example.
Card-
you could chill Cardano
Yeah.
for 5 minutes and then
Yeah.
do whatever you want.
Yeah. That could be.
Is that what you
Yeah.
do on Reckless VR? Who is your sponsors, Udi?
No,
Which
I
coin?
I used to joke though that it was sponsored by Tron, but it's not, unfortunately.
When you meet when you put on your Oculus and meet Udi, across his forehead it says Cardano.
Yeah, I don't even know. Like there are so many coins I don't even know what they are, because I used to. I used
Yeah.
to be like pretty well informed about the crap, but like there's like what is Cardano? What is it? Like why does this thing need to exist? Because it pops up into your view every like 7 months or so
Yeah.
for some absurd reason. There are a bunch of those shitcoins that really like, why do you even exist? Like why?
I laugh now, especially with XRP. You get pulled, the SEC
Oh,
coming in, they get pulled in, and I'm laughing like everything else is literally a shitcoin. I know Anders, I know he loves the term, but it doesn't do good for his eToro ratings, but they're shitcoins. But I will say this. It's such shit. And now when you have CBDCs coming in, what else can they do? I mean, the government can block all of them. The only saving grace we have in the world right now is Bitcoin. That's it.
Yeah. They can actually like really stop most of them. Even like stable coins like USDT and whatever.
Yeah,
Would be
stable
pretty
coins.
painful,
Yeah.
I think. But yeah. Yeah, it could be a fun year in that regard. Fun couple of years even.
Face melt.
Yeah.
So yeah, Pubby, I hear from Udi that this could be an interesting year for Bitcoin. It could be good. So yeah, by the way, Udi, so coming into this Toxic Happy Hour edition, Pubby told me you're a bit of an expert on Ethereum. If you can give us your opinion on that project.
It's a small little project, right? Ethereum is I really like Ethereum. The thing is, like, what is it? Like that's the thing that always like gets me. Like, seriously, what is it? I get you have a coin. Like if I'm trying to like be serious about it for a minute, I think that what they want to, they don't even actually care. At least the Ethereum like development community, they don't even actually care about the coin. They want to make a blockchain that is a platform for who knows what, and for some reason they're super excited about that. And then they're saying, hey, the coin just needs to exist for the blockchain to work. And that's why they do like insane things like, who knows what the supply is? Who knows what the supply is gonna be? That's the even crazier part. They don't know. Like if you're gonna ask what is the Ethereum supply gonna be in 3 months, no one can answer that question. Not because they don't know the current supply, but because it literally could change at any point in time between now and 3 months, and they don't know. Like, can you imagine? Like in the next 3 months, the monetary policy of the coin could change. And they don't know that. No one knows the answer to that question yet. That's insane. So, I mean, fine, you can say, they would say, we think it's better that way, right? That an inflationary currency where the inflation can be controlled, they think it's better. Fine, you think it's better, fine. But really, there's no competition to Bitcoin. Like that's exactly the antithesis to everything that we want, everything we're ever interested in. So like, do your thing, but it's not related in any way to Bitcoin. It's superficially related, right? They use digital signatures and they have wallets, but it's not like the very core of the concept of what it is. It's not that. So I just don't have interest in it, I guess. I do have interest in making fun of it because the Ethereum people, they are so easy to make fun of. Like really. So I really love them for that. I do love them. I do.
So
I'm not kidding. They're great people.
I put the Ethereum folks right with the XRP army as the ones I like to make fun of the most. But you know what? Going back to that with Ethereum, man, and Pierre Rochard, who will be joining us, by the way, that when he came out with the entire what's your supply? It turned it into a meme. I think someone joked earlier it was 70% pre-mined, and I said, "Well, how do you know it's only 70%? We don't know what the total supply is." You know, are you sure? It could be much more. No, but we got Pierre Rochard, and
That's awesome.
So looking forward, people are going to come in, unfortunately, buy Ethereum, they'll see Bitcoin Cash on Coinbase, and this is sort of a sad part. They'll see the cheap stuff, Litecoin. Oh, this must be pretty good. So those of us that have been around for a few years know what's coming up in that regards. It's sad, but they can have fun staying poor. That's my motto.
Yeah. Well, Bcash is really, you can't. It's not even fair to Ethereum people to compare Ethereum to Bcash. Bcash is just, it's just sad. Really, it's not even funny. Ethereum is funny. Bcash is just, at this point, you kind of think back to 2017 and kind of the energy we spent on getting triggered and pissed off by Bcash. And honestly, I think back on that, I'm like, it's so sad. It's just the sad group of sad people who just fucked up royally and are never recovering from that. Like never. It's so sad. And it's not even, there's nothing fun about it. It's just so lame.
Yeah.
So
but I'd love to just correct you both, because you're both calling it Bcash with so much respect. The word is actually B-Trash is the name for that blockchain. But I understand both of you. You're into diversification. You like to respect it at a certain level.
Yeah.
Can you imagine diversifying into Bcash? Oh man.
Look,
B-Trash.
Listen,
yes.
Listen, that $20,000 of Bitcoin Cash I have, it could take off one day. It could take off. Hey, you know what though? And this is
if Bitcoin gets, so if it's $20,000 now, and if Bitcoin gets to $300,000, then I can see your Bcash being worth like $22,000 easily. Yeah. So it's a great investment.
You know what's fantastic? You talk about an exit move. Let me switch over to Charlie Lee, by the way. He dumped out a Litecoin, had all-time high. He had 2 Bitcoin Cash, whatever coins, I don't know what you call them. He dumped those at like over $5,000 each. The guy was brilliant, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, totally. There's no one who executed this so perfectly as he did. It's really brilliant. I don't know. I guess it's interesting. Sorry, it's interesting. Like the dynamics behind, like why do you announce it? I don't know. It's I think it's always going to be this kind of mystery. Like what actually happened there? What was his thinking or reasoning behind it? But yeah, it was very well executed for sure.
Well, I would say, he had.
I hope he got some Bitcoins for it.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did. What I thought fascinating was the brilliance of it was him tying himself to Satoshi Nakamoto in a way, saying, "Oh, look, I should exit and leave it to the people. Let me exit and leave it to the people." That's a brilliant strategy, because anyone that owned Bitcoin saw that. Now, if anyone ever comes up to me and talks about Ethereum or Bitcoin Cash or Litecoin and says, "Well, what do you mean? What do you talk about centralization for? Decentralization, XRP?" It's like, guess what? Like Brad Gardinghouse with XRP, and you know what's going to happen? The government's going to get to them. So you think you have this for now? They can be changed. Bitcoin is the only thing out there right now that is running free in the wild.
Yeah, that's true. And I don't think it can ever be replicated.
No.
I'll be honest with you. I would be happy if Bitcoin could have actual competitors that actually offer similar properties, and I could say, okay, I'm going to hedge my bet with those. But there aren't any, and I don't think it's ever going to be possible that there will be any, because if you're going to start a new digital coin, it can't have like the same perfect origin story that Bitcoin has. That's just not going to happen anymore. So, like it or not, that's what we have. That's what that even because people would have those debates, right? Like, well, maybe the supply should have been like this supply schedule should have been different. Like it should have not halved every year, but like be slower or faster or whatever. And like, why is this? It's a nice academic discussion, but why are we talking about this? It's not going to happen. You're not going to change Bitcoin, and you can't make a new one. So just shut up. That's what we have. That's the best we have. It's not going to get better. So either we make it work or we don't. Those are the two options. So yeah, I think that's the right frame of mind to think about Bitcoin. The newbies can't grasp that. It takes you years to realize why you can't have a new one. The newbies are always like, well, you can just make a new coin and change it a little bit, and then it's better. And then this one is gonna. No, you can't. I wish we could, but we can't.
No,
the people view it as a religious thing. It's not. I wish it was possible, but it's not. You can't do it.
No, I use your modus operandi. When someone asks me why can't we have a new one, I say, well, listen, my friend UDI said just have fun staying poor. That's why. Have fun staying poor, man.
Yeah, it's easier instead of explaining.
See,
instead of explaining, you want to be poor, man.
You know what's funny? I remember reading a quote from Satoshi. Is one of the early ones was, "I don't have time to explain it to you," and and the moment you get it, when you join Bitcoin, you're a Bitcoiner. Once you understand, like, look, I'm done. Fuck, I'm out. I'm not gonna explain it to you. I can't explain it to you. You're on your own.
You know who we said that to?
No, who?
So he said that to Dan Larimer, who is the founder of EOS, and before that, Steam and BitShares and whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a serial scammer. He's doing great.
Well, he's doing well. He's done very well for himself, but yeah, I don't think he's losing sleep over that Satoshi quote anymore. But but it's a funny tidbit. Like the very founder of EOS got slapped by Satoshi in like 2011 or whatever it was on the forums. Yeah.
So it's interesting. We've had now just a 12-year birthday, 12 years old. Happy birthday, Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on Satoshi? 1 person, 3 person, 5 person, and maybe a shout out to Hal Finney, man. Hal Finney, rest in peace, my friend. So what are your thoughts?
Bitcoin tweet.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts?
Dude?
Yeah.
Like who it is? Well, I think it's Justin Sun, probably.
Fuck. I was gonna go with Roger Ver, but
can you imagine like Justin Sun being Satoshi? Like he just, the entire Tron thing was a scheme to throw people off. He like what's the thing that will make it the least likely that I'm Satoshi? Yeah, let's make the world's shittiest shitcoin.
Didn't I hear you in a podcast say that Tron was better than Ethereum, or it's the same as ERC?
So it is. Like Tron is really bad, but it's better than Ethereum.
Anders is impressed. Like this is what Pubby brings to the show, man. I actually listen to our guest podcasts. I read their articles. I bring it, baby. Nice. I bring it. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm
impressed.
I don't know if you can see it, but I'm blushing.
Yeah. I don't know if you recall, Pubby, but I did mention in the beginning that I heard UDI on the Swan Signal talking about the Reckless VR Meetup. So at least I'm trying to put up a facade of being interested in our test, right?
Well, you know about the sunglasses, right?
It's a VR headset. I know it's a VR headset delivered by Mossad.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I'm
Oh
actually
no.
on
Okay,
Facebook
tell
right
us the
now.
story. Sorry, sorry I interrupted you. I can feel that you have a story you're passionate about with the sunglasses
About
that
the
we should know.
sunglasses?
Yeah, you
No,
just
I'm
said.
just saying. I can't physically remove them. It's part of my face at this point.
So it's, I guess it's a bit like a what is that, RoboCop kind of thing, Mossad RoboCop, where with the built-in.
Well, if I go to like I go to like a conference or whatever, then people don't recognize me if I don't have my sunglasses on.
I'm waiting for the memers to come in. I'm just waiting for UDI to see his face with the sunglasses come in behind Anders with a gun.
Sounds like a good meme. I can support that meme.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Have fun staying dead. I get it.
The UDI, hey man, you got the Udinator on the show, man.
Mm-hmm. We do, and I think we gotta thank RD for convincing Udi to make the mistake of his life by appearing on Toxic Happy Hour. I think RD played a role in that, right?
I think he was. It's his fault.
Yeah,
it's his fault. I'll ask for a refund.
Yep.
Yeah, if you want, listen, man. We had fucking Jeff Booth on the show, so that could tell you we can pull some big names. We can pull some big names. No, he really did.
That's good.
Uh-huh.
No, I saw your future schedule. It looks impressive.
We got a few on there. I'm waiting. Knut Svanholm. I keep pushing him off because I'm trying to finish all the books. Every time I find an author, I want to read the book first. So I got a stack of books. Then I brief Anders about them because he doesn't read.
I take the 30-second summary any day, and Puppy's really good at this because he's no doubt the library of this show. He's read, I think, at least half of all the books in the world and traveled the world, so he can bring me up to speed on pretty much all our guests, which I really appreciate, Puppy.
I do what I can, man. It's for the sponsors. Oh wait, hey, a shout out to our sponsors. Hey, a shout out to our really only sponsor. We don't have the shawarmas yet, but Tahini's. Tahini's the greatest shawarma you'll ever have. They're in our chat group. If you're in London, Ontario at any time, go to Tahini's.
Yeah. So I love how we have a sponsor, and I still haven't seen a shawarma, but still, for the love of Bitcoin, we'll do a shout out for Ali at Tahini for sure. So Udi, what we're trying to do is we're trying to change, because of Tahini being a shawarma restaurant that is going all in on Bitcoin, we're trying to change the narrative from Bitcoin taco plebs to Bitcoin shawarma plebs.
I'm supportive of that because shawarma is meat.
Yeah.
Right. So that's good.
Oh,
it's great meat. The bread. So. So yeah.
Look, if we have Udi on the team, Pubby, if we have Udi on the team, I think we've won. I think shawarma is now the new plebe maximum status.
So,
but why are you guys saying plebe? It's pleb.
Oh boy!
No. Now,
here we go.
This is where Pubby, he taught me because the literal person, the world knowledge person is Pubby on the show. Now he will explain to you what he explained to me. Go, Pubby.
Well, Pubby is wrong. I don't need to wait for his explanation. He's wrong.
Well, the term comes from plebeian. So plebeian.
No, you're wrong. I know what you're gonna say, but you're wrong. So so the word plebeian, it's true. Yeah. It's true that word exists. But
thank you.
I
win. Thank you.
But there are two words. There's plebe, Plebe, but there's also pleb, which is Pleb, and it's another word. And you can look it up. There are two words. There's plebe, Plebe, which is short for plebeian. And there's pleb, which is Pleb, and the meanings are very similar, but they're not the same. So yeah, and it's
listen. Hey, Listen, my friend, I've Googled this stuff and I've read
it too. So look,
I've read dissertations about this. I see Professor
Udi,
I had American Hollow there on the
Udi,
VR thing because he was on your side, which is the wrong side, and and we started the talk. Like it was me and him. We were interviewing. Unfortunately, the video got corrupted, but it was me and him, and I put him on the spot. I told him like, well, is it pleb or plebe? He said it's plebe, and then I hit play, and there was this huge screen behind us with like a woman pronouncing pleb. She was like pleb, pleb, pleb.
pleb.
So that's that's the correct way to pronounce it, and I will die on this hill. So I don't.
Well, you're going to be forever cemented into the happy hour lore, because look, now it's a show by the plebs for the plebs, and Chair Force Huddle.
Yes.
Get on it.
Yes.
Get on it.
I made a change in the world.
You made a change in the world, and we welcome you back to Twitter.
I'm never invited again, but at least I made impact.
You're invited every week, man. This is what we do. A couple times a week.
Yeah. Hey, Pubby, what do you say we party crash or gate crash the Reckless VR? What is it? Saturday I might not be able to, but let's get some Oculus headsets and go to the recklessvr.com meetup.
No, this sounds like amazing to me, man.
It's fun.
It's hard to explain. Well, one, how old I am, but I will tell you. My first programming language was BASIC, dude. Line 10.
Oh, clearly
line
it was
20.
BASIC.
Yeah. Well, I haven't graduated much since then.
I learned BASIC, but I was very young when I was like.
He's like 2.
Like a child.
Yeah. No, I was about 30 or 31. I don't know. Line 10. A
long time ago.
Well, and then if you forgot something, oh fuck, line 15.
Yes.
Line 16. Well, don't run out of fuck ups.
Yeah. And well, Quick Basic made it better, right? But yeah.
I remember. Yeah, C, and it was C and C++ in college. What to get
viewers like the viewer count slowly declines. We talk about basic features.
It's so amazing how quickly, like you said, the technology changes. And I think it was Moore's law? Like every couple of years, how quickly doubles. Man, we are in for a ride in the next 2 years.
Yeah.
Andrew checks the chat room. Love Camilla, is she there?
It's Camilo. It's a guy. It's a guy using a female. Camilo. It's a guy using a female.
Look, I'm not judging, avatar. Man. I'm not judging.
And she was looking for a shirt before early in the show, I remember. But so, Udi, I would like to ask you, so where do you find your inspiration for Bitcoin in general? Is it on Twitter or in Mossad?
Oh man, I find the inspiration in the 21 million supply cap. That's my inspiration, man.
Yeah.
No, but
it's running out. It's running out. Yeah.
Yeah. Seriously, like, what do your fellow spies think about Bitcoin? Is it private enough? Can you use it on missions? Can you use it on missions? Is it private enough? CoinJoin? What do you?
No, we usually use Bitcoin to track down people. That's what we do. You know, we do giveaways on Twitter. We pretend to be like an exchange or whatever. We do a giveaway, and then someone gets a little bit of coins, and then we can track their transaction history forever. So that's kind of the point. So Bitcoin is great for that. We do that a lot.
It's the best trap coin in the world.
Yes. Well, it's good to finally see you. Yesterday, I believe Dare Gigi said that you're an alter ego. So are you really Dare Gigi? I don't know.
I didn't know he said that because I'm not listening to my other side. But yes, it's true. Yes, it is true.
So I want
Why do you think they never show his face? It's because he's me.
This is true.
I do have a ton of sock puppets. Like most of the people you talk with on Twitter are they're just me.
it's
In the
actually
chat right now too. You don't see it, but I have my phone and I'm like typing. Like at least 3 people in the chat are actually me.
and
Hey,
you do the German accent when you come on as Gigi onto the show.
Yes.
Hey, look,
Austrian.
this is Mossad.
Austrian.
What did I say? What did I say?
German.
Yeah,
Oh, it's the same. Come on.
Oh. Send that to Gigi. Send that to Gigi. Here we go.
So I keep calling Gigi anything but Austrian. I've called him German. I've called him Swiss, Luxembourg, Italian, but anything but Austrian.
I think you called him Australian once because that's the closest thing you knew to Austria.
That's bad. Hey, look,
man.
I want to pick up the viewer numbers again, so I'm just going to be gone from the screen for 60 seconds so we can amp up the numbers here. Puppy, can you carry the show, Puppy?
I got it, baby. We're good.
All right.
So I'm really fascinated moving forward with the change in narrative from medium of exchange to stored value. The quote unquote wall of money that may come in. Now, anyone that is the size of MicroStrategy, let's just say this past year, you only had 8 companies that size, they would have bought up the entire annual supply. The amount that they bought, if you think about that, in 4 years, you only need 4 companies to buy up the annual supply. What's going to happen when Apple says, you know what, fuck it, 5% of our reserves we put in? I mean, that's a new angle that we really haven't talked about.
Yeah, a huge company like Apple, it's probably going to take a while.
Or Amazon.
But yeah, I mean, it's funny how, because we always had these thoughts about how like companies and at some point maybe nation states would use Bitcoin as a reserve currency that they would hold, and it's at some point in history it seemed very hard to believe, but it people can see that happening now, right? It didn't happen yet. Like it's only like a handful of companies who did it, but you can see it happening. You can see that becoming something that is
well,
something
and it may
a
not,
lot of companies do, right?
It may not be an Apple though. It could be just another company the size of MicroStrategy.
Sure.
Okay, so
it could be a lot. Like what I would like to see and what I would expect to see is just to have a lot of them, not just in Apple or in Microsoft or whatever. Just have like every company, because a lot of company might manage reserves not just in US dollars, because that's risky. So a lot of companies would want to have some Bitcoin on their balance sheet. I think that's a very possible future. It'll take a while. I think it can happen.
I didn't know how long it would actually take, because what every company the size of MicroStrategy, every CEO that has voting control, just looked at a man that started in August and basically doubled his balance sheet. He turned $1 billion into almost $2 billion in a few months. And where I come from, we call that street cred, man. That's street cred right there. And those are the ones that are going to get in first. Like you say, Apple, Amazon, they got to jump through all the regulatory hoops coming in. But man, I'm pumped for this year, man. I think
you want Bitcoin to solve a problem for them, right? You want Bitcoin to be, it's not just something they're going to do to, like a company like Amazon, they're making money. They're not in the business of trading cryptocurrencies. You want them to see Bitcoin as something that's offering a benefit to them, which I think is possible in the long term. They will just see, you know what, we don't feel comfortable holding our entire balance sheet in other assets. We need to hold Bitcoins because otherwise we might lose value. And I think that could happen one day. It's not today, but it could happen one day.
Don't you think they have a that it solves one thing for them, which is storing value of their cash reserves? Don't you think that already now that would be a benefit for Amazon, Google, Apple, Facebook, etc.?
Yeah, but you don't have to, and a lot of companies don't hold their entire reserves in cash and in a specific currency. You don't have to do that. They have some other options, but I think that I think you'll start to see Bitcoin as a contender, as a very valid commodity that people hold to retain value, like they do gold. We're not gold yet in the way that the mainstream perceives Bitcoin, right? We know it, but the mainstream doesn't perceive Bitcoin in that same way. And I think once it gets there, then you can expect to start to see bigger companies not making a bet on Bitcoin, but instead just saying, if we need to, just to be exposed to what's happening in the world, we need to have a certain percentage in Bitcoin to it's not a bet. For MicroStrategy, it's a bet, right? But I think for other companies, it would be like just a utility.
Yep. Well, core MicroStrategy, it's all in. The Giga Chad, the Terra Chad, Michael Saylor went all in, which is great. But I mean, hell, how do other companies not even say, look, even at this point, at $30,000 plus Bitcoin, we need 1%, 5% exposure. I'm not saying go all in. How in the hell do you see a company do this and not even put 1 to 5 or 10% out there? It's coming.
Yeah.
Sorry to be
it takes time, but I think it's coming. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry to be so bullish on you, Anders the Bear. What do you want?
There's talk the talk, and you definitely have the talk. Let me put it that way, Pubby. You absolutely have the bullish talk. I focus on the actions. That's me. I'm sorry. I just, but I love your diversification into Bitcoin. I think it's a great risk off for you. You're securing.
Why do you have a no-coiner like Pubby on the show? He's essentially a no-coiner. He happens to have a few Bitcoins lying around, but it's not.
Yeah, just a few.
Thank you, Udi. You just made my day, Puppy. I'm sorry. I feel sorry for you because Udi is powerful right here.
It comes from a family where you're raised to work hard for your money. And for me, just to opt out into Bitcoin and be retired at such a young age, I don't know if that is in line with my values. So I like to, look, man, I like the hamster wheel for a bit, the Pubby wheel for a bit, got my Bitcoin for a bit. Here we go.
Yeah.
But don't worry.
Okay.
Listen, next year, you won't ask me that question. I'll be out.
Why will I not ask you that question?
Oh, because we got $500,000 fucking Bitcoin. But let's be honest, 500,000 into 2021.
Yeah. Look, I don't like to have to do this to you, Puppy, but every time you call me a bear, I gotta take you back to reality check and remind you that your talk is bullish, but your walk is bearish. So, by the way, so as you said, I like how you describe yourself at such a young age.
Yeah.
We love
thanks.
it. If I didn't know any better, Puppy, I think Udi is enjoying himself on the Toxic Happy Hour.
Oh, yeah.
Who doesn't, man? Who doesn't?
Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun. It's not
right.
YouTube, it's the chat. But yeah.
No, it's always fun to be right between a bull and a bear right over there.
Hey, Udi, tell me, so is this true, Udi? Like in the middle of the Peter McCormick podcast, he actually has to cut you off to put in a word for the sponsors, because we don't have that here, baby.
No, we don't.
Oh, when you're recording, so here's a secret from behind the scenes.
Yeah.
When you're recording, you're just recording it, and then he edits in the sponsorships later. So
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even know because I didn't listen to myself. But now that you bring it up, it makes sense. Yeah.
Oh yeah, like we get you on, Udi, and we're all about maximalism, toximalism. We're non-commercial. What I do then is I edit the show and I put in about 27 minutes of sponsorship from different coins, and I sell that cost. I sell the content to CryptoVision because I know none of our viewers are actually watching CryptoVision by Raoul Pal. And I make a fortune on this, to be honest. This is like a true cash cow for me.
Yeah, good job. Good job. So I just want to say, if that's going to end up on CryptoVision, then I just want to say to Raoul Pal to have fun staying poor.
Oh.
Just
there's
this video. Did you guys see the video where was it a Swedish interview or some European country where there's this lady who interviews people in her car, and there's this the whole video is in Swedish or whatever language it was, and he's saying, yeah, I think that Raoul Pal is poor. That's what the guy said, because he said you don't make investments in like Bitcoin, like a large investment in Bitcoin, if you're not poor, because if you're like a billionaire, then he's wrong. But it was funny because
I
was
saw
like, yeah,
that.
it seems like he's poor. He has like maybe a couple $1 million, but it's like he's poor. So that was funny.
But listen, so yeah, we got a great group of memers here that have gone after Raoul Pal for many months, and he was going back and forth quite a bit. He was a good sport. I sent one over the top, and my favorite Christmas present was on Christmas Eve. He literally posted out as a reply that basically, I have more Bitcoin than you, and I wear that as a badge of honor to get him to say he actually had to tell a pleb that he owns more Bitcoin than a pleb.
I have more Bitcoin than you. Yeah.
I dragged it out. That's the troll of my lifetime right there.
Yeah. So that's how the have fun staying poor thing started, because I noticed that you say to someone have fun staying poor, and then they like reply with their bank statement or whatever. Like, no, I'm actually rich.
Yeah.
You're wrong. It was so funny to me, so I just kept saying it. Yeah.
Yeah. But at the same time, Pubby, I think we can conclude he also has more XRP than you. So for that reason, that statement, he's warm on that. He's warm on that.
Oh, yeah, the warming up to Ripple. Oh, you know what it was? It was when I had I think I had something with the Titanic, and I said, I think Raoul was warming up to transatlantic voyages, and I put XRP on the Titanic, and then I woke up and he blocked me.
That was a very bad. That's hilarious. And it was a very bad time to warm up to XRP. Like, dude, if you're gonna, he literally baited on the exit pump, because you know what? Like, I don't know if you guys follow the XRP price, but what happened was like someone was doing an airdrop on XRP holders, and that created a pump on XRP. And I mean, look, I don't want to get sued, but there's a very, very good chance that like Ripple itself was behind this, because they obviously knew that the SEC thing is coming, and they needed an excuse to dump coins quickly before it's coming. So it seems like a classic exit pump, right? They had to create some stupid event to pump up the price, and fucking Raoul Pal fell for the classic exit pump scheme that the world noobs fell into. So that's how smart this guy is. I'm sorry.
So-
I don't appreciate him a lot. I'm sorry. I
Yeah,
know he's
I
a
know.
big Bitcoiner too, but it is like the shitcoiner is
Listen,
unbearable.
listen. I had him lined up to come on the show. I literally had him lined up just to explain his views. Anders just totally just put a hand grenade into the room and closed the door. Just call him straight out a shitcoiner. And I'm like, man, let's have him in and explain himself.
Those weren't the words, Puppy. It wasn't. I didn't call him shitcoin. I wouldn't swear like that. I called him a pathetic scammer. Thank you very much.
Oh, right. You mean a shitcoiner? Got it.
Yeah, I mean it's the same thing, but I would never
I think
swear.
he might be actually dumb. I think he's not. Maybe he's not scamming. Maybe he's actually dumb.
I think he's just a great salesman. I really think he's just a great salesman. He was a head of like some a big client sales at some Wall Street bank, and he's just good at building relationships, and you know.
Oh
yeah, he's good at that for sure. Yeah.
So yeah, I got to interject here. A word from our sponsors. This show is being produced by guess who? Raul Paul. Thank you for coming on the show, Udi.
No, I actually have a question for Udi. So Udi, being in Mossad, does that give you the diplomatic status so you can't be sued when you give all this financial advice like you did on this show about buying Ethereum and taking bank loans?
Well, technically, I can be sued, but I literally have a license to kill. So if anyone sues me, I can execute them.
And yeah, all right. So there's the have fun staying dead, right there.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's one of the qualities like in our guests that you can kill someone without being sued. Rule number one.
That's what we're going for, Udi. That's why you're on the show. Artie, he recognized that in you. And
that's why you want to be in an agency like Mossad, because you can, the worst thing, you can kill someone and then the worst thing you get is like a slap on the wrist and like, this was not according to policy and you should be more careful next time. So
you should try not to kill next time, but if you do it again, we'll just have another conversation like this.
Yes.
Yeah. So if I could make this into a quick meme, it's the old politicians laughing meme. On the top, it says, I just killed somebody. On the bottom, it says, and they let me free.
Yeah.
He's let free.
That's me. And it's old too. So it fits my age. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was, what you said you're in Tel Aviv, right?
Yep.
Been there, done that, loved it. Do you know where the American embassy is there on the water? And there's a place next. I think it's called Mike's, right?
Mike's Place, yeah.
Fucking Pubby, bringing out the stuff. Good shit, man. But there's.
I would imagine that's the pub you would like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
But on the other side,
I miss it. It's closed for.
What is it?
It's been closed. I mean, it's not dead. It'll come back, but it's closed for COVID things.
Yeah. Well, on the other side of the street, they had this guy. I call him the Chicken Man, and he had the chicken schnitzel. And I never realized that schnitzel was so popular in Israel.
Oh yeah.
But this guy was so hardcore. He would the chicken was made from just raw, and then with the flour, and he would dip it in with bare hands, dude. He put that shit into the oil.
With his hands?
Yeah. Oh, he'd done it for years. I'm sure all his nerve endings were done. But yeah.
There's no skin left, so it's fine.
Yeah, so Tel Aviv, to me, is always about the schnitzel. So what's the story about the schnitzel there?
Oh, I don't know. But yeah, there's a schnitzel thing going on, yeah. I don't know. I know how it started. Schnitzel is... I'm not going to read that out. Come on.
I didn't ask you to. I didn't ask you to read it.
To maintain.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, Marcus is yeah. drunk.
I love how you tried to find a good word for Marcus. You want to say something nice. You
Yeah.
ran out of it, and
Yeah. So what
yeah,
kind?
let's
What's
change
it?
the subject. Let's go. Let's
No,
change
no.
the
Yeah.
subject.
Yes, I will. I will. Udi, so I know you're into the Scotch, man. What kind of Scotch whiskey do you like, or do you like any bourbons from America? This is straight
I will
Scotch.
be honest with you. I'm really, really bad with drinks. Like I don't. My real, I just don't know. I don't know any, and I have no idea what I'm drinking. But the my real drink is like just beer. But I don't. I have the stupid no carb diet, so I don't drink beer. I really shouldn't
Mm.
drink anything, but you guys ruined my day already, so I might as well. But the I usually would I would have preferred to have beer, but I just can't, unfortunately. So my thing is beer, though.
Fair enough.
Which type of beer do you like? Anders enjoys
I
Bud
like
Light.
IPAs a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I don't like that hoppy taste. So I used to work at WeWork, and we had throughout the week unlimited a beer on tap, and they had IPA. I tried it. It doesn't work for me. It has too much that hoppy, bitter taste. I need something that it can go down pint after pint without any sort of friction.
That's what
Pilsner.
she said.
She did. Did. And you know how that ends, puppy.
I don't. You said it. Let's go.
Let's go.
I was told you guys are renowned for your jokes.
Oh.
I can see. I can see why.
Yeah, they're known as daddy jokes, really bad. We are yet to make the first joke on the show here because we are very serious. Honestly,
yeah.
no, listen,
Yeah.
like we know when we have a covert agent on the show that wears a virtual reality headset when he's on, like we got to be careful. Don't make him angry because none of us wants to have fun staying dead.
Same. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. I'm seeing who's that? MG Smith
Yeah. Okay,
saying
let's get.
IPAs are great, but be careful about the man boobs. He's right. That's why I stopped.
Even better. He called them the Portnoy titties. Listen, man. I fucking hammered down on Portney with those bitch ass weekends. That was another great meme of the year. The weekends, dude.
Yeah.
He had that shit in August. I think he sold out 12,000. I think 13,000. Dude.
I think maybe even lower. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
It's sad.
I think he bought it at 12 something, and then when it crashed down to 10, he got weak hands. That's why his hands are famously known to be as small as the hands on a Kent doll from Barbie. So he's sold at a loss at around 10 something, and then I remember we gave him a lot of when I think it was Thanksgiving, and it dropped from like, I don't know, 19 to 18, and he tweeted out, "Oh, this is the Thanksgiving massacre," and like, dude, it's still up 90% from when you sold.
Jesus.
How much did he lose, like in dollar terms? Do we know that?
Well,
not enough
in absolute terms.
I don't know. I'll tell you this: he would have tripled his money.
Yeah.
So I don't care what it is.
Totally.
So if he dropped even $1 million in, he lost 2 million. Whatever. He lost it all, man. And by the way,
and you see, Sean is saying not everyone is up, and you see that's true. Like that's exactly the type of mistake you can do, even if you're bullish on Bitcoin. You buy some Bitcoin, you're leveraged too much or whatever. The price goes down, you stress out, you have weekends because the position size is too big for you to handle, and then you sell at a loss while being right about being bullish. That's the worst thing you can do to yourself. Like really, that's And you were right. Like you were, yes, it is going up. You would have tripled your money, and you not only you didn't triple your money, you actually lost. That's that's really bad.
Well,
So that happens when you take too much leverage or just have a position
So
that's too
wait,
big. You have to tend to do those things.
no, it wasn't leverage. It wasn't leverage so much, but hubris.
Yeah, I guess with his case, it wasn't even leverage. Yeah,
It
No,
was
and
leverage.
imagine
He
how
had the money.
leverage.
Oh, hey, Anders,
Yeah.
back off, baby, back off. Thank you. You know, the thing is, he didn't take a loan out. He had the cash to do
Yeah.
it. He lasted less than a month. That's the brilliant part of it all. That dude lasted less than 1 month in the Bitcoin, but he loves the Bitcoin community. He'll be back. I'll sell him maybe
He'll be back. Yeah,
a little bit
he'll
at $1 million.
wait,
He'll
I have
bite
a
it
question.
exactly. He'll bite the dip to 1 million. Yeah.
I have a question. Did he buy for $250 million worth of Bitcoin, or did he buy for $250,000 worth of Bitcoin?
Oh, there's no way he bought 250 million. So if that's the only two options, then it's 250K. Look, he has money, but not not that much.
I guess not.
Yeah.
Anders does. He's got all his money in Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's true. I don't have much, but what I do have, and that's why I need to, when you concentrate assets, it can create wealth and it can destroy wealth. And I'm betting on Bitcoin. Yeah, so I don't have as much as I would like to, but hey, when you start at the bottom, you gotta try and you work your way up.
Yeah. So I mean, just a humble kid started
humble and
with big
sets. Yeah.
humble kid that started on Coinbase. I keep everything there. When it's on Coinbase, you can't pull it off during the bull run. Coinbase,
Okay.
yeah. Have you heard of it?
It's an app, right?
I think so.
It's a wallet.
Yeah. I don't know what I don't know what it is, but man, I got my I got my Bitcoin on there.
Yeah.
No, Udi. Pubby actually uses it as a way to not lose his coin or corn, because he can't be tempted to sell either when the price moves up or when it moves down, because anytime the price moves, Coinbase
Coinbase is down.
It's down. So he knows that's this. That is cold storage for Pubby. He can't touch it when the price moves.
Yeah, Coinbase
solid strategy.
You know, when I deleted my account, I was the Bitcoin price was ramping up. I was the bet was I needed to have Bitcoin break the all-time high by such and such time, and in the last hour, the price went up. It got like within like a couple $100 from the all-time high. Like it was really close. And then fucking Coinbase went down. And then it crashed. So I think they did it on purpose to just get rid of me. That's probably what happened.
They don't like Mossad.
So let me. I want to jump in on this one. Okay, yeah, we've been fucking around. I'll be a bit serious here. The next year to me, as we roll into everyone that's going to be new to Bitcoin coming in. Look, I know my generation, 2017, comes in. My first thought is, how do we go forward? How do we go forward where, look, it's someone that has no fucking clue about private keys. How do we go forward and make it easily accessible or trustworthy to people? Because you think the Bitcoin supply has dropped up. The supply of people that have any kind of clue as to what they can do to protect their Bitcoin, they're done. They're done. Everyone that is smart enough to do it are here. So what do you see moving forward? How do we bring them in? How do we protect them?
I'm on the camp. I'll obviously get shit for that too, but I'm on the camp where I believe if someone's getting into Bitcoin, I think it's reasonable for them to start with a custodial service to start. And there's a lot. Look, there's a lot going on. Like you're gonna, especially in like a bull run like this, there's a lot of things you need to take into consider and take into account. Some people are used to having a broker and having their stocks and bonds and whatever with that broker. So if they're okay with that, they can be okay with having the Bitcoin there too as well until they learn about it. And even if they're not, there's so much going on. You need to understand like the crazy price movements and having strong hands and not trying to trade and not trying to buy shit coins and not trying to short the top and not trying to do all those dumb things. That I think it's more important to get those conceptual things right first and move on to custody later. It's also easier, because people, especially in times like these, they have this FOMO, they want to get in, right? And if you tell them, well, first you need to order like a cold card and wait 3 weeks for it to be shipped to you, and then configure it with the thing and command line and transfer files on the SD card. Yeah, okay, good luck with that. That's not gonna, they're just gonna stop listening to you and just go to Coinbase. So your best bet is to give them good custodians to use that are not gonna shill shit coins to them, and let them give them time to, because once you hold some Bitcoin, once you bought some, even if you don't hold it yourself, once you bought some Bitcoins, you start to have that interest and drive to learn more about it, and that's the right time to start learning about self-custody. It depends on the person. For some people, yeah, sure, they're gonna jump right into self-custody, but I think a lot of people are not. You need to, when you're talking with someone, you need to be accepting of the fact that they're not going to be able to do that for day one. So you either, your two options with a lot of, not everyone, but with a lot of people, your two options are like, you either tell them about a good custodian they can hopefully trust for a while, or you're going to lose them. They're not going to listen to you. They're going to go and just use Coinbase and buy Bitcoin Cash. So those are your options. You don't want to get that wrong, I think. And then, over time, teach them about custodianship, sure.
I remember coming in when I first bought on Coinbase. There was always and Trace Meyer. That's a whole nother story. Sort of lost his shit there for a bit. Not your keys, not your coin. He started, but all of it came out of Mt. Gox. So there's going to be people coming in that will never remember that history of Bitcoin. Mt. Gox, totally getting fucking obliterated. Do you think not your keys, not your coin is still as valid, or are there valid exchanges like I don't know what the one Gemini, because Anders keeps all his Bitcoin on Gemini. I'm not sure.
Great. Actually, I appreciate that.
I'm trying to bring it back in the conversation. Yeah.
No.
Anders,
I want you to talk, Puppy.
Are the exchanges? Do you think our exchanges getting more reputable to you?
We talked about Hal Finney before. And Hal Finney back in like what was it, 2010 or whatever, on the Bitcoin Talk forums, he said, I don't remember the exact quote, but he said, yeah, I fully expect that they're going to be like Bitcoin banks, and most people are going to use those. They're not going to interface with the Bitcoin blockchain. They're not going to have wallets. That's most people, or at least a lot of people. And the great thing about Bitcoin is that we have the option to do self-custody. And the fact that we have the option to self-custody means that it's easy to have businesses competing on being custodian, right? Like to be a bank, you need a license and whatever. To be a Bitcoin custodian, it's much easier. You probably might need a license in some jurisdictions, but it's easier. And so you have more competition there and a better chance of having some good custodians. I think that for sure these days, there are better options than we had back in the Mt. Gox days, right? Like Mt. Gox was I think anyone who has some tech background and understands like how websites work very basically and logged into Mt. Gox could see that something is wrong, right? Like something is something is
Hey,
wrong.
hey, that's not this show. That's not this show, man. You see our tech background.
Non-existent.
So I mean, something was fishy. Like you're thinking to yourself, look, this is not a talented, this is not a skilled team. I think these days we have better options than Mt. Gox back then. Still, I prefer not to trust anyone else because I can, right? And I understand how things work, and I know how to use things without a custodian. But I know that I talk to a lot of people who are making their first investment into Bitcoin, and I know that they're not like, this is not an option for them. They're not gonna. They don't. It's just too much information. So
what do you talk to? How do you talk them through it? If you're telling someone, is it like, you know what, fuck it, Cash App, do this, do that. If you're telling someone how to say they realize finally at $30,000, I want to get in on this. So what are the steps UDI tells his friends?
So it depends on the person. Like if it is a technical person who can grasp, self custody, then I will help them through it. I think, for small, what's small? For like more of a, dip your toe into the water kind of investments, then I would probably recommend like a mobile wallet, like Blue Wallet. I think is a great newer wallet that is pretty good for newcomers. That's
Which
for
one?
like smaller things. Blue
Was that
Wallet.
Blue Wallet? Yeah, Blue Wallet. Okay.
And if we're talking like bigger amounts, then it would probably be one of the hardware wallets. Multi-sig I find is really going to be for the more serious types, right? Like it's not because it's still involved, and sure, you could go with one of the commercial offerings like Casa and Unchained, which are also good. But then, then we're talking about like a larger investment, right? So it depends on the size of investment, depends on the type of person. If they're not technical at all, then I would definitely recommend going with the custodian first. Ideally, multiple custodians. I don't see people talking about that a lot, but ideally, if you could have just multiple services, open accounts in multiple exchanges, deposit a bit of your Bitcoins at every one of them, and then in the bad case that one of them goes down or censors you or whatever, then at least you don't have all of your eggs in that one basket. Yeah, so that's pretty much what I would recommend. I usually try to kind of push them towards self-custody, but most people push back. They don't, because it's too much. And honestly, they're right. Like it's like, someone comes along, he's like, I've been reading I've seen that PayPal added Bitcoin support, and I've seen such and like Michael Saylor is talking about it, and then you're like, yeah, so you should write down like 24 words, and you should back it up, and you should stamp it on metal and restore it and test it out. Like, dude, that's not.
I think
the guy has other things to do. It's not going to happen. Not now. Maybe one day, but not the first step.
I think like for yourself to secure your own stash through self-custody, sure, that makes a lot of sense. But the real tricky part is if you're hit by a boss, how will your heirs start to understand that whole setup you made? And I think that's the real challenge with self-custody. And I'm not sure what the solution is, UDI, in terms of if you want to secure your heirs.
Yeah, that's also a challenge, and it seems to be a challenge that a lot of people just ignore, right? Just don't think about it or like put it off. And it's too bad because there are some known cases too about like people who just died and their families couldn't figure things out. They knew they had bitcoins but couldn't figure it out. So that's, you definitely want to take care of that. And
They knew where they were rich, but they had fun staying poor.
exactly. So and yeah, and taking care of that is definitely a challenging part. And it's, even if you don't die, like, like some people have a system that's so intricate that they need to remember how to execute the steps. Even if they have, even if they have the backups, they need to know where the backups are, and they need to know that they had a password, a passphrase, another key, whatever. They need to remember all those details. So what happens if you're hit by a bus, you don't die, but you lose your memory, right? That happens. That can happen. And then what? You just lose all of your
What?
your funds. That's
What?
pretty bad. So you want to take care of that too, and that's difficult. So there are approaches that people think of, like you can, because you can do things like you can lock, you can have your coins be locked for a while, like in a way that you can move them with your keys, but someone else will be able to move them with their keys in, let's say, 2 years, and you can keep postponing that date. So that's like sort of a dead man switch. So then you give that key to your lawyer, your spouse, your, I don't know, someone, and they can immediately use it, and you keep refreshing it. But if something happens to you, so that's one option. It's not perfect, but it's one option. Another option is like the multi-sig thing, where you would have some keys that will become relevant in the future, and some of your relatives will be able to use them. A lawyer will become very handy in those things. People use bank deposit boxes sometimes, because you can have the names of someone else to be able to open it if something happens to you. A whole bunch of things you can do, but I guess to make a long story short, it's there's no trivial solution. You really have to think about it. If you're not going to think about it, then you might be better off just using a custodian.
Yeah.
Hey, if we're going to go into stories that don't have an easy solution, I'm going to bring this one up to you. No, fuck. I mean, Anders wasn't smart enough to come up with an answer for me, so I'm curious on this one. So you have MicroStrategy, or these companies, corporations, nation states. How the fuck do they secure their Bitcoin if they go all in? How do you secure that? How do they secure that and pass it on to the next generation?
Well, I mean, it sounds like a difficult question, but how do they secure anything that they buy, right? Like
in a dictatorship, how do you secure it in a way you want to pass it on?
Well, if they buy gold, how do they secure it? Like, it's the same kind of problem. If they buy dollars, how do they secure it? It's the same. I find it to be a similar type of problem. Like, if they will probably either use a third-party custodian, or they will have like an actual physical guarded vault or whatever. Both options are possible. They can do both. It's the same. It's an issue. I know, I'm not saying it's not, but it's the same issue they would have with any other type of asset. I don't think Bitcoin is very special in that regard. Like, we're not used to Bitcoin is very special. I mean, in the regard of how a nation state is gonna secure it. Like, as individuals, it's something that is more foreign to us, because individuals aren't used to be in self-custody of their funds. That's not something that most individuals do. So for us, it's like a foreign concept. But some institutions might do it, some nations might do it, and if not, they're used to using a third party that has that expertise. So I think they're going to do one of those things.
I just want to shortly interrupt from my highly encrypted private chat. So I have the president of Mossad on my speed dial, because we're buddies.
Yes.
And he just sent me a message saying that UDI has to go back to work soon. Otherwise he'll be digging holes all night in the desert for other people's jobs. So if he wants to be saying that line of "have fun staying dead," he needs to leave now. Otherwise, he will be the one digging the holes. So Udi, it's your call.
Do I want to leave or do I want to be fired?
No, he won't fire you because you're one of the top agents. You're very lethal, and you have the best one-liners when you finish the job. So you can either go and do the job now and say, "Have fun staying dead," or you will be digging holes for the other agents in the desert all night, making space for their jobs. So
well, that doesn't sound like a lot of fun.
No, serious. On a serious note, I really don't have him on speed dial. He just told me I can't say that, so I have to withdraw that. I don't know him. I'm not hanging out with special agents around the world to secure me and my family, my loved ones. But I know we've gone for more than 2 hours now, Udi, and we do want to respect your time.
We can. I'll tell you what. We can. It is late here. We can take like another 5 minutes, and then I'll hop off. So if you have like another pressing question about my Messiah history, that's your last chance.
Oh man, everything is pressing here. You know what's pressing right now? Another beer. Oh. Found it.
I think that it looks like the same one since the start of the show, Puppy. I don't want to say I'm disappointed, but I had higher hopes for you. Got to tell you, like higher expectations.
But you know, Puppy turned. I turned over a new leaf this year. I'm only going to have 2 beers for the show. That's all.
Puppy's cleaning up.
I'm just kidding. No, I got a few here.
Oh, that's it.
I will show you the other one. You're not clever enough to find out when Pubby. Oh, hang on.
So he's Udi. Pubby has this whole system, so it doesn't look like he has more than one. He's got the same one 6 times during the show. Only sometimes when he's at the pub, they actually bring like an IPA pint, then they bring a Guinness pint, and you can see the color difference. But otherwise, he's good at keeping it low key.
That's why I'm Satoshi Nakamoto, man. You guys couldn't pick up on that shit early on. It took you like months before you realized, wait a second, that beer doesn't end. That beer doesn't end. So yeah, now you got it from Pubby.
We have it up. So Udi, this is how we, when you give us 5 more minutes, we really take it, to a high quality level, talking stuff like this. Make sure that the viewers get really the best part of the show here, elevating it to this kind of beer talk, I guess. But what do you have any last final things before we close off?
I think it's the most important thing is anyone who's stuck around for so long. Like, first, you made a big mistake, but second, keep going with your wave of mistakes and go join havefunstayingpoor.com. That's like another big mistake that you can make if you're thirsty for mistakes. And really like I what I want to know about people's stories about telling people to have fun staying poor and how that worked out, because I know people have started doing it, like in real life. Some stand in front of a person in real life and tell them to just have fun staying poor. Those are great stories. So if anyone has those, please send them my way, because
I love how
they're usually good.
I love how you get people to send you their bank statements to prove that they're not poor. I mean, it's such a great. I guess that this is where your Mossad background really comes in. You're so good at extracting information.
Yes.
You push the right button and out comes all the bank statements. All right, thank you, Udi. I really enjoyed this. I hope we have you back on the show in the future. And I will definitely during Q1, I have to come to the Reckless VR. I'll get myself the cheapest possible VR headset to not hurt the sats. Pubby, any final words from you before I sign us out?
No, you know what's fantastic to me? Udi's been one of my favorites to follow in the space, but when you can call out. Oh no! Listen, man. You call out Ethereum, you call out everything else that is true. No, you're just the voice in the wilderness, man. The voice of the wilderness, John from the Bible. You call shit out. Love it. And great to meet you. Have a few cocktails.
Likewise.
And at the end of the day, Bitcoin is the most honest thing in the world. It is the most honest thing, and watch it go forward. It has never lied to anybody. It started at 0. It's at 31,000 right now, but watch it go forward because it's honest. You're seeing honesty. You're seeing truth coming forward. So get ready.
Nice.
Okay, Pubby the Bear, we'll get ready. Yeah, no, see, Udi, this is why Pubby is so great, because he gets very deep, because he read so many books, so he can bring that perspective that it blows me away. To be honest, I'm not even joking. Pubby brings the philosophical angle. It'll be interesting on Friday when we have Breedlove on. It's two philosophers. So I'll just be sitting here watching the chat. That'll be my participation on Friday. So on that note, I have to right now go and make the first pasta carbonara error I made in my life. This is going to be a fun experiment. And that being said, be careful, people out there. Be careful storing more value in dirty fiat than you can afford to lose. It's a built-in policy. Dirty fiat goes to 0, and just be careful with that. It's the official public policy of the Fed.
Mortgage
and central banks.
And this from Andrew. Just listen. Mortgage the house. Take the second mortgage. All in on Bitcoin. All in on Bitcoin. Mortgage your house.
Why not?
Nice.
Why not?
Thank you.
All right. On that note, Udi, thank you so very much. I hope to see you again.
Guys. Thanks everyone on the chat, and thank you for inviting me. And yeah, talk to you later, guys.
Yeah, and thanks to RD for convincing you to make the mistake of joining Toxic Happy Hour. Thanks to all the guys in the chat, all the viewers. We love you guys.
Just falling out.
Here come Puppy. And thanks to
Green Room
for making the initial Bert and Ernie thumbnail, and thanks to Chairforce for taking it to the next level, throwing in all the Easter eggs in case you guys haven't noticed that are in the thumbnail. All right, guys, thanks for participating in the chat. Thanks, Udi. Thanks, Puppy. See you on the next one.
Ciao.